While intuition is an incredibly powerful tool, many of us struggle to hear it. One of the biggest obstacles in tuning into our inner GPS is the overwhelming noise of the modern world. We live in a time of constant information overload. Whether it's endless notifications, social media updates, or just the general fast-paced nature of life. This continuous storm of external stimuli makes it hard to hear the quiet voice of intuition that's trying to guide us. In such a noisy world, it becomes easy to overlook the tiny and quiet inner voice our inner self is offering. Welcome to Soul Time, a show that explores the world of unlocking your unique potential. My name is Dr. Katja Markowka, and I'm a teacher at school, a former teacher at universities, and a stress and mental coach. And I'm your host. Let's start by unraveling the mystery of intuition. At its core, intuition is often described as a gut feeling, an inner knowing that doesn't rely on conscious reasoning. But what's really happening beneath the surface? Intuition is your subconscious mind at work, a complex system that gathers and processes experiences and emotions and knowledge far faster than your conscious mind. It's a vast library of information you have collected over your lifetime, guiding you without needing to flip through every book. Science offers us fascinating insights into intuition. Our brains are wired to pick up patterns and cues, often without us realizing it. Neural pathways in the brain connect past experiences with current situations and creating a response. This is why intuition can feel instant, like an emotional shortcut to a conclusion that would take your rational mind much longer to process. We experience this all in our daily lives. Think about that moment when your phone rings, for example, and you already know who's calling before you even pick up. Or when you meet someone new and just sense that they are trustworthy. Or maybe the opposite. Have you ever walked into a situation and felt a knot in your stomach, sensing something was off before any red flags appeared? These are all examples of your intuition quietly working in the background, nudging you toward awareness. Intuition is a gift we all possess, but the challenge lies in recognizing it and learning to trust it. We will explore why so many of us struggle to hear this inner voice and how external noise can drown out its wisdom. While intuition is an incredibly powerful tool, many of us struggle to hear it. One of the biggest obstacles in tuning into our inner GPS is the overwhelming noise of the modern world. We live in a time of constant information overload. Whether it's endless notifications, social media updates, or just the general fast-paced nature of life. This continuous storm of external stimuli makes it hard to hear the quiet voice of intuition that's trying to guide us. In such a noisy world, it becomes easy to overlook the tiny and quiet inner voice our inner self is offering. But there's another reason why we often ignore our intuition, our over-reliance on logic and reason. We have been taught to value the mind's ability to analyze and calculate and rationalize. And in a world that prizes intellect, intuition sometimes feels like an unreliable force. We tell ourselves that decisions should be made based on clear and logical thinking. And so we push our gut feelings aside, thinking they are not enough to stand on their own. But here's the truth. Intuition and logic can work hand in hand. When we are too rigid about relying solely on rationality, we miss out on the wisdom our instincts are trying to share. And moreover, there is a very human fear of being wrong, which can make us second guess ourselves, especially when it comes to intuitive decisions. What if that gut feeling leads us away from a good decision? What if we trust our instincts and end up making a mistake? Fear of failure or judgment can make us hesitate or completely dismiss our inner guidance. We might worry about how others will perceive our decisions, or we might be afraid of the potential consequences. And this fear can create a barrier that prevents us from fully embracing intuition as a trusted guide. So, what's the solution? It's about learning to quiet the noise, value intuition alongside logic, and reduce the fear that holds us back from trusting our own instincts. Now let's dive into how we can start tuning into our intuition more effectively and make it a more reliable tool in our decision-making process. Developing a strong connection to our intuition early in life lays a powerful foundation for self-trust and independence. When we start tuning into our inner guidance from a young age, we become more confident in making decisions. Intuition, in essence, teaches us to trust ourselves, not just others or external influences. And this deep self-trust gives children the confidence to face the world with a sense of creativity and knowing they have the tools within them to navigate life's challenges. In fact, children often have remarkable instincts. From the very beginning, they instinctively know who to trust and when to avoid something or someone that doesn't feel right. A child might be drawn to a new friend because something about them feels safe. Or they might refuse to enter a room because something about it feels off. And these natural gut instincts and reactions are their intuitive compass at work. And as adults, we often forget how deeply children are connected to their instincts. When nurtured, these intuitive feelings grow into a valuable skill set for handling life's complexities. And the practical impact of teaching children to listen to their intuition is profound. If we can help young people to tap into their gut feelings, they can make more informed and authentic choices. They will be less likely to ignore their instincts when it comes to navigating relationships or recognizing unhealthy situations. And this ability to listen to their inner voice also makes it easier for them to stay true to themselves, regardless of peer pressure or external expectations. Whether it's deciding on friendships or making decisions about their futures or standing up for themselves in challenging situations, a well-developed intuition gives them the guidance to act confidently. And in a world full of distractions and external influences, teaching kids how to cultivate and trust their inner GPS can help them develop into individuals who are grounded, who are self-aware and capable of making choices that align with their true selves. And intuition communicates with us in a very quiet but powerful way. Often it speaks through our physical sensations, emotions, or moments of sudden clarity. You have probably experienced that gut feeling when something just doesn't feel right, or the unexpected sense of certainty about a decision that hasn't yet been fully reasoned out. And these intuitive signals aren't random. They are the result of our subconscious mind processing past experiences and knowledge and emotions. And by learning to recognize these cues, we can begin to trust our inner GPS more reliably. One of the first steps in strengthening your connection with your intuition is understanding its language. Often, it will come as a physical sensation, like I said before, like a tightness in your stomach when you are about to make a wrong decision, for example, or a lightness when something feels aligned. And these bodily responses are the intuitive signals trying to grab your attention. Emotions also play a pivotal role. Intuition often manifests as a sudden burst of clarity or a sense of peace when you have made the right choice. And don't forget to pay attention to these moments and the way they resonate with you on a deeper level. It's also essential to differentiate between intuition and fear. While intuition feels grounded and calm, fear often manifests as anxiety and nervousness or unease. Fear tends to be loud and urgent and pushing you into reactive, often hasty and decision making. And intuition, on the other hand, is quiet and steady. It doesn't rush you or it doesn't overwhelm you with a sense of panic. If you are unsure whether a signal is from your intuition or your fear, take a moment, take a deep breath, and then reflect and notice the physical sensations and emotional calmness that follow your gut feeling. Intuition usually feels more centered and clear, while fear may trigger a sense of chaos and urgency. And to cultivate a deeper awareness of your intuitive signals, consider practicing mindfulness. One simple exercise is journaling. Each day take a few moments to write about your emotions, your thoughts, and your experiences. And in doing so, you may notice some patterns where your intuitive signals align with certain situations or decisions. Another powerful practice is meditation. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. And as you quiet your mind, Pay attention to any subtle insights or sensations that arise. And these moments of stillness allow your intuitive wisdom to come to the surface without the external distractions. And by regularly tuning into your body's responses, your emotions, and your quiet moments of clarity, you will start to recognize and trust your intuition more easily. And the more you practice, the more natural it will become to rely on your inner GPS when making decisions, whether they are big or probably small. And now that you understand what intuition is and how to recognize its signals, it's time to start trusting and following your inner GPS. And just like any skill, the more you practice trusting your intuition, the stronger it will become. But here's the thing. You don't need to start with big decisions. Begin with small choices where the outcome isn't so critical. For example, let your intuition guide you in choosing what to eat for lunch or where to go for a walk. Start listening to those subtle nudges about what feels right and see how these experiences unfolds. These little wins will help you build confidence in your intuitive abilities. And as you begin to trust your inner guidance more and more, you will notice it becoming easier to follow your intuition in probably bigger and more significant decision-making processes. And for instance, there are countless stories of entrepreneurs and artists and creatives who have thrived because they trusted their intuition. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He often spoke about how his intuition guided him to create groundbreaking products, even when logic or conventional thinking would suggest otherwise. Or consider an artist who feels compelled to paint something without fully understanding why. It's often that inner voice that guides and leads you to the most authentic and powerful work. And trusting your intuition doesn't mean throwing logic out of the window. That's not the case. It's about finding a balance. Logic helps us assess, for example, risks and consider consequences and weigh the pros and cons. But intuition is what connects us to the deeper knowing, to our deeper knowing, to our values and the emotional and spiritual elements that logic can't always explain. When you combine the two, you create a more holistic decision-making process, one that integrates both the mind and the heart. For example, when faced with a career decision, your intuition might nudge you towards a certain path, while logic can help you understand how to navigate that path practically. And over time, as you start to follow your inner GPS, you will see that both your intuition and logic can work together and guiding you to decisions that are both practical and aligned with your true self. And trusting your intuition doesn't mean you will always have a perfect, flawless path. It means you will start making decisions with more confidence, more clarity, and alignment with who you truly are. And that's when life begins to feel more like it's unfolding according to your design rather than just going through the motions. And to help you further connect with your inner GPS, here are some journaling prompts you can use. These will guide you to reflect on your own experiences, deepen your awareness of your intuition, and help you practice tuning in more often. First of all, Write about a time when you followed your intuition and it led you to a positive outcome. And think back to a moment when you trusted your gut and things turned out better than ever expected. And write down, what did it feel like in that moment? What did you learn from trusting yourself? The next prompt: reflect on a decision where you ignored your gut feeling. How did it turn out? And write down, how did it make you feel afterwards? What were the consequences of not trusting yourself? The next journaling prompt is, what does your intuition feel like? Is it a physical sensation, a thought, or an emotion? Do you feel it in your stomach, for example, like a gut feeling? Is it a quiet voice in your mind or a sudden burst of clarity? And the next prompt is, what areas of your life could benefit from listening to your intuition more? Is there, for example, a part of your life where you are not trusting your inner guidance enough? Maybe it's in relationships or career choices or personal growth. And write about it and consider how listening to your intuition could shift things for you. And the next journaling prompt is, how can you practice tuning into your intuition this week? Finally, let's challenge yourself to find ways to practice listening to your intuition this week. It could be as simple as asking yourself, what does my gut say, before making a small decision or creating quiet space to tune in during the day. Write about your plan and how you will stay open to those inner voices. And these prompts will help you strengthen your relationship with your intuition and allow you to use it as a powerful tool for making decisions aligned with your true inner being. And as we wrap up today's episode, let's take a tiny moment to recap the key takeaways. Listening to your inner GPS, the intuition that quietly guides you, is one of the most powerful tools you can use to navigate life's decisions. Whether it's a career change, relationship choices, or even everyday actions, your intuition can help you toward what's right for you. And the more you practice tuning into your inner guidance, the stronger it becomes. It's like a muscle. At first, it might feel uncertain or hard to trust, but over time, the clarity grows and grows stronger, and your ability to listen and act on your intuition will bring greater fulfillment and alignment to your life. So here's my challenge for you this week. I want you to spend some time truly tuning into your intuition. Start with a small, tiny decision, maybe something you have been thinking about. Trust that gut feeling and act on it. Take a note of how it feels when you make the decision, and then I encourage you to share your experience with a friend or your loved ones, or probably reflecting in your journal. And remember, your inner GPS is always there, quietly guiding you toward what you truly want. So trust it, follow it, and let it lead you to a life that feels aligned and fulfilling. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to hear how this practice shapes your journey. Until next time, bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to Soul Time. I'm very grateful because you have given me the greatest treasure of your life, your time. If you enjoyed this episode, click the subscribe button so that you get a notification every time a new episode is out.